This is a video to show a wicking garden in progress. I just wanted to show you the parts that I put together. I took half of 5-gallon buckets, cut them in half to create a reservoir bed, basically, by putting the buckets so their surface, the top and bottom surface, is upright. You can lay a sheet across it and lay your soil on top of that. So this sheet, the black sheet you see there, that's just fabric. That's just garden fabric you would lay to block weeds, but in this case I'll be using it for the wicking system so the water can actually travel through it. Ultimately speaking, it will travel through it directly into the soil. Some people say that maybe that's a little bit too much water to allow to go into the soil for some plants, so you may consider that while you're building this. The gray item here is tarp. It's just heavy-duty tarp. I've got it doubled up so that in case it rips through one, it'll have to rip through a second one before it breaks. Also, all these buckets have been carefully sanded so they don't cut through just by putting them in there. And on the end here, I'll come to the end, move real close here. I put a pipe in the ground. That's all you need. Something to, if the water comes above this height, the pipe will run the water out, or quite frankly, the water just run out into the ground. This is dug about a foot or so into the ground, that's how you utilize the ground instead of wasting space by going straight up. Just dig into the ground and put your reservoir there for the wicking garden. And I'm about to put these buckets in there. Those are the wicks. I filled them with a couple of different types of soil, something that will absorb the water and draw it straight up even if the water's low. If the water gets down to about an inch or so, that's not going to, these aren't going to draw any more water up them very much. So you want to keep that water level above a couple inches, just because the buckets aren't flush on the bottom. So that's an issue. Anyway, also on these wicks, you got to make sure that soil comes up above the rim so that it's actually pressing up against your soil that you put on top of it. So the black fabric goes on top of everything. You put your wicks in, goes over the top of the wick. The wick draws the water up through the black, not plastic, through the black fabric, and then right into your soil. Your plants should love it, and the fabric should block your plants from putting roots through the wicks and then getting root rot. So also, if you're interested, these beams here are movable. I can slide them out. They just have a little edge there so that they can be moved around as I please, so that I can garden without stepping on top of the wicking garden or having to reach over. Particularly, I could sit on those boards, no problem. Those are 2x6s.